Okay, this episode of Kamen Rider Rant, episode 2, I'm going to be talking about Kamen Rider Zio, or Go, depending, how you think you should pronounce it. But, okay, I know a lot of people are going to think I'm going to praise this series, I'm really going to like it, considering the, last Kamen Rider Rant video was on Legend, another anniversary rider. But, here's, my opinion on, Go. Fuck that series. That series sucked ass. I don't care what anybody thinks. I've watched every single episode of Kamen Rider. I've watched every Showa, every Heisei, every Reiwa. Every single one. I've enjoyed almost every episode I've watched of any series. Like, even Hibiki. Like, despite some series, Gotchard had some, pretty low points. Same with Revice, but Go, I felt like the entire thing was just meat riding this one guy for absolutely no reason. Like, okay, it wants to establish the power hierarchy in Kamen Rider and really the power system as a whole. It wants to just expand the universe into a multiverse, right? But you don't do that by digging down every other character that fans have loved. And sure, some of the episodes, all of the episodes were it's supposed to be just a better Decade. Just Decade without the entire thing being fan service and having actual story. But you can't accomplish that in an anniversary series that well. That's why I liked Legend, because he was a side character and did, it just makes me mad. Because, okay, we'll use Build for an example. Build is a semi-main character in Go's plot. He's one of the first riders that Go meets. Basically, he learns his powers and talks to Build, and Build's almost like a small mentor to him for a bit. But was it really necessary for the entire series just to be, oh yeah, this guy has your powers and I'm just gonna murder him, but I'm gonna grow up to not be evil? I know that's a really fat generalization of the plot, and it is a lot deeper than that. And yes, I can prove to anyone that I've watched the entire thing. And I'm not saying Go was bad. I have my fair share of ride watches. It did its purpose, and I bought toys. But at the end of the day, it's still a shitty anniversary series. It's not a good one. I don't care what people say. You go and look at the villain himself. It's just the main character, but evil, and he just grew up bad. I have the power of Kamen Riders from the future, and it's literally just someone's self-insert, and I'm so powerful. I have every single character's power. It's like one friend who you grew up when you were little saying, "Let's play superheroes," and the little asshole who ruins it says, "I have all the powers," and then you can't play anymore. So how are you supposed to have side characters how are you supposed to have side characters in a series where the main character just gets every single power? It makes no sense. And sure, you have Gaze Revive and his other powers, but what are the secondary riders' powers even gonna do if you can just, I don't know, summon every single rider on the planet? It really just, and he had practically zero drawback. Sure, there are arguments for 2066, and I know Decade was shit riding wise, but man, they did him dirty in Go too. I am a Decade glazer, but at the end of the day, I can recognize the flaws of the series. That's why I know that I am eligible to point out flaws in Go as well, because you see Decade, you see this series that sure, it has practically non-existent writing and it's just fan service, but it still paid respects to the original characters. Decade got his ass whooped by Blade. King Form kicked his butt. And then you see Go, where he's like, oh, I have orange arms, and I can just kick the shit out of anyone I want now just because it's Gaim. It's base form Gaim. How is that supposed to make you stronger? If you're a Demon King, why are you using an orange blade? I seriously don't get it. They could have just fleshed him out. Sure, you had Go2, all the other forms, and then DK complete 21 debuts for a solid 4 seconds. You're telling me that this is supposed to be honoring the past series? and you use one of your most fan favorite characters just to get bitched by the final villain who's just another version of the main character. It's giving Terminator. I really don't like it. It's, oh yeah, I'm the T-100 and this is the T-1000, but just because you're better, I'm going to kick your ass anyway. It's so stupid. And then some of the episodes really fell off at the later points because I think they started realizing that they didn't have enough time to complete the series, not because of just budget restraints or anything, but because really the episodes started to mix together. You started seeing like I think Gio2 or one of his like own original forms debuted during the Kiva like episode. So you are basically downplaying one of your writers when you're trying to actually give Gio his own story, because it just looks like that they don't care about Kiva, like when his plotline is getting intertwined and mixed in with Gio's own. It really feels like two separate things, and I think that's something Legend really like did good on, because they don't really acknowledge that it's like, oh yeah, he's a legend, he has anniversary powers. No, you just say, oh, he made that shit. Like there wasn't a whole backstory sequence. But like in Geo, you have to see every single ride watch, every single thing. And that's like one of my main like gripes with it. Like Geo, it's a glorified like trinket collecting show. I think people hold it to a higher standard just because of Decade and all the other stuff in it. But okay, I will say one thing. Geo has almost unrivaled like I guess CGI and just really action. Its choreography is amazing. And like okay, for example, it's nothing compared to Reiwa CGI, but the entire like Omagio statue henshin, not the evil Omagio, but the movie version, the Omagio movie statue henshin was amazing. I loved that movie, and its CGI is a blessing. Same with Heisei Generations Forever. That movie had almost impeccable AI. What am I talking about? Impeccable CGI. And it was just perfect. And it really gripped my heart. Like I'm saying, Gio is a fuck ass series. I really don't like it. But I can, if I just turn my brain off and watch it, it's amazing. And that's like that. I think Gotchard gets too much hate because like people will point to that and be like, oh no, that's a turn off brain series. It's like, not really. It's a really hot take, but I'm gonna say anniversary series are more like brain rotted than some series like Gotchard are. Because in Gotchard you have lore about the chemis, you have lore about like Gridion and like all this other stuff. But for an anniversary series, it's like, oh yeah, it's time travelers, it's whatever. But like with Geo, it suffers the same fate as Decade. That's what I think. It is a little bit more creative than Decade. Yes, he's just not turning into the riders and like turning them into guns or whatever. He's getting his own unique armor. Those were very creative. Some of those suits were lackluster, but to each their own. But yes, I still think it suffers the same thing that Decade does. That if you try to mix a complete topic or idea that's just fan service and legitimate plot, that it doesn't really turn out well. That's why I like Heisei Generations Forever, because that movie is just straight bullshit action, and then a heart-wrenching scene at the end where you're like, man, this is what I grew up with. This is my childhood. I'm going to remember this forever. And these are like heroes, And then it's amazing. Why do you think Heisei Generations was so good? Because the plot was so minimal, but it showed appreciation through action. This is what needs to happen more. Appreciation through action. Not every single Kamen Rider series needs to be like a writing masterpiece. We love writing masterpieces. Geats, perfect. I cried when watching Geats, right? But say something like Revice. It's writing questionable. Gotchard's writing questionable, but that doesn't stop them from being good series. And I think that's what the Geo needs to, like, what it should have done. It should have just taken the hit, taken the blow, and been like, okay, we want a heart-wrenching plot, a deep, dark plot, dark riders, everything. We want an evil Kamen Rider to be like to finish out the Heisei era. It's gonna be amazing, right? You can have that and not have the most complex like bullshit stuff ever. But like and then if you just have it as fan service, sure, people are gonna like critique it and be like, oh, it's a fan service series, but that doesn't stop them from being loved. That doesn't stop them from being appreciated. Like, you look at Decade. People love and hate the fact that it's all fan service. Fan service is a 50-50 thing. And that's okay. You're gonna get toy sales anyway. That's what I find wild about Geo. It has, ironically, like with Decade, the most potential to make the most money out of any Kamen Rider series, just because you can keep making cards, keep making ride watches, and it's just never-ending profit. But like at the end of the day, it's like you have that at your disposal. So why not do something with that extra profit? I mean, you can put that to another series. You can put that to anything else. But an anniversary series can just be an anniversary series. There's nothing wrong with that. And I get it. Toei wants to appreciate the history and everything to their best. And I agree with that too, right? But I think the best way to appreciate something is like the Amazon show. Not like the old one, the new one. Okay, hear me out on this. It's going to be a tough take, and I know it's a bit away from Geo, but it follows my main point. Amazon's isn't Amazon, but it uses the ideas and like basically the same premise, and it's like an homage to the series. That's what I think anniversary series should be. Something like that, where it's like it's high budget, high action, and Amazon's just gory and has a like really rough story. And people love Amazon's. They think it's a bit over the top, but it's good. And I think having a series like Geo could have been something like that. A high quality, action-packed series where it's every single rider, all this stuff goes to each point in time and everything. And it's not trying to be two things at once. That's what I think Geo suffers from. Geo has an identity crisis. It is trying to be an homage, it is trying to be fan service, and it's trying to be its own thing. Now, these things are possible together, but what does that create? A messy, convoluted plot with lackluster results. And I am not calling Geo a lackluster show, because it is far from that. Eternal Return. You have just so many iconic moments. And Grand Geo, almost perfect. Like, I just love that form. But, like, that does not make a good series. It can play a part in that. Yeah, it can. But you need all three of those aspects to work together. And sure, a normal series would be concerned with toy sales, right? Because, if the series doesn't work in this way, doesn't work in that way, the toys won't sell good. But if it's an anniversary series, everybody knows that they're not going to have to worry about that. And I do not know why Toei has not realized this. Toku fans will absolutely slobber over the mouth for anniversary items. Those are some of the most sought-after things, and they even make custom versions of them because the Toei doesn't pump out enough. Go on any website and you will find custom Decade cards, custom ride watches, because the fans still want them. These series are long gone. They're from so long ago, yet people are still willing to customize and buy stuff from those series just because how iconic and remembering they are, like, of that time. So all this extra profit, all these, like, this chance for just expansion, but they're doing too many things at once. And I think simplicity for an anniversary series, not for Kamen Rider as a whole, but for a series like Decade and Geo would work perfectly if they settle on one plot device, one plot element, and try their very best not to get convoluted with fan service, messy plot lines, and at the same time toy sales. They can really put together something beautiful. And I think Geo does have some beautiful things in it. Like, it's bittersweet. It really is. How almost perfect every anniversary series is. It's just missing this one little thing. And they are improving on each other. Gio is a definite improvement from DK. Sure, a little bit less iconic, a little bit less loved in the community, but that if you look at it objectively, it is an improvement. So I think Gio can really serve as a lesson going forward for Toei as a company as a whole. But I mean, it also really shows what the fans want as well. Just look at watches sales. Look at DK card sales. Still going through the roof. I bought more custom DK cards 2 months ago. So I think real big opportunity here for Toei, but it's whatever they think. I know this video was not as in-depth and really about Gio as a whole. It was just more about, I guess, the idea of Gio, considering my last Rider Rant video was about Legend and the meta-narrative aspect of his character and more about the character himself. But it's called Rider Rant for a reason. It's just me yammering about the Rider. So that's going to be it for today for Rider Rant.